This is a beautiful, beautiful bullion coin, but is it real? There's some issues with it. On the back, this crest is appalling. I haven't seen one this bad for a very long time. So we're going to put it through some tests here today to see whether or not it is genuine silver, and then maybe talk about why this has happened. And it's really not very good at all. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and welcome to another In Focus Friday, the show where we take a good close look at something cool made of silver or gold. And today we're going to be looking at this Noah's Ark coin, and in fact putting it to the test and seeing whether it is a genuine one. It was sent to me by a subscriber who had concerns because the detail that's on the crest here is awful, appalling. The strike is really very poor indeed, and that led him to maybe think that this and others within his collection that came from the same batch were perhaps fakes. So we're going to put it through some tests to see whether or not it is real and see if the silver content is at least there, and then we're going to talk a little bit about why perhaps that might look the way it does. So I'm going to put some gloves on and we are going to start doing some tests. And now these are non-destructive tests, and that's why I'm putting gloves on, so I can handle the coin without getting lots of grubby fingerprints all over it. But you can do these at home. Now, this gentleman had done some tests himself to really kind of look and see what it was all about. And a lot of what he was doing really kind of said, actually, yeah, it probably is real, but he wanted a second opinion. So that's why we are here. Now, I've got some rather fancy looking weighing scales out here on the table. I would advise getting some pretty good high quality ones. There are a lot of cheap and nasty weighing scales out there that quite frankly will be okay, but not brilliant. So these are very expensive. These are my trading standards approved ones. They are calibrated as well once per year, so it's as pretty close as to perfect as we can get to weigh anything. So of course an ounce of silver should weigh 31.103 or above. And this one here you can see weighs 31.15. So you always get a little bit of extra free silver within anything that you're buying when it's a silver coin. You even get bonus gold on gold coins as well. It's one of those really weird things that they give you a little bit extra just to make sure that they're not going to be under. And just to sort of show you that, I have here one of the World of Dragons, which is a 1 ounce silver round as well, and that one 31.08. So a little bit tighter on that threshold, which is interesting. But you still get a little bit over. So there we go. So that's the first test that I will always put a suspect coin through. If it doesn't weigh right straight off the bat, if it's under 31.10 or 31.03, then that is in its first case a real kind of alarm bell for me. Then, satisfied that the weight is okay, the next thing that is important to do are the dimensions. Now, dimensions can be done, of course, by sort of using rulers and things, but I would highly recommend getting a pair of sort of digital calipers. Now, I say digital calipers. Unfortunately, literally this morning, my calipers have decided to pack in, and I've changed the battery, and they still don't work, so I'm going to have to get a new set. But there is a kind of manual ruler here on this coin, so we can at least get a pretty good idea of where the number is, and it's sort of 38.5 of a millimeter. So give or take 0.1 of a millimeter. This is meant to be 38.6 if you look up the stats of the coin. That I think is a pretty good indicator that we're quite there. I mean, again, if it was completely off, that's something to worry about. Now, unfortunately, fakes these days are getting rather good, and they often get the diameter pretty bang on spot right. So it's always the thickness of the coin which is the thing to really double check. This one sitting around the 3mm mark, if I can even get that on camera. There we go, around the 3mm mark. It's really difficult to kind of get that measurement and get it to be as valid as possible. But what you will find is that a lot of these coins, to have the correct diameter, will have to be significantly thicker to get the right weight. So those three things that you can do, the diameter, the thickness, and then of course the weight, are really good indicators as to whether something is correct or not. Coins are best for this in terms of protecting yourself because they are defined by their weight, by their size, their diameters, and they're easily checkable. There are plenty of different little what they call like cardboard cutouts and plastic cutouts with various different coin sizes that you can get, which are fantastic. So one other little test that you can do, this one, is the ping test. So you can hear there's a nice ping there. I don't really want to tap it too hard and damage the coin. That's probably the most destructive test that you could do for a coin. Of course, you're going to be, dinging a coin, but the nice resonating sound there would indicate, again, silver. Another quick and easy, simple test that you can do is get some neodymium magnets, earth magnets they're called. You literally can buy these for like, a couple of pounds for a pack of 10 little ones, and they will slide slowly down the silver coin, as you can see. So it's the magnetic, I can't remember, is it the magnetic resistivity or some property of silver that allows the magnets to go down at a slower time. They don't stick, but they just slowly fall down. So that's another good indication, of course, that it doesn't stick in the first place. There's no ferrous metal in there, there's no iron or anything else that can attract to it. So that's another good sign. Last test that I'm going to put it through is on our Sigma here. Now, of course, not everybody has a Sigma or can afford to buy a Sigma. They are not cheap bits of kit. They're also not infallible by any stretch of the imagination. They can easily be tricked and duped, and there are plenty of videos out there showing various different coins passing in various different categories. But when you're looking at really pure bits of silver like this, these machines are pretty good straight away of telling you whether or not there is an issue or not. And right here, I didn't press the right button, that's why we're not getting a result. We need to click the run button. So there we go, place sample. We can see well within those brackets for the 4.9 silver. And in fact, this is actually marked on the coin as a 3.9 silver coin, as we can see just about here on the reverse underneath the 1 ounce. 1 ounce AG 909. So if we move this category to 3.9s rather than 4.9s, hopefully we should end up with this bam smack in the middle of the brackets, and we do. So there is no doubt in my mind that this is a pure silver coin. So why does the design look so poor on the back here? What's going on? Well, the sad fact of the matter is these are mass-produced bullion coins, and sometimes the quality is somewhat lacking. And in this particular coin's example, we can only go on the mintage figures for last year. There were 1.6 million Noah's Ark coins minted last year. And that's been increasing year on year when you look at the mintage figures. So one would only be able to surmise that for 2022 there might be 2 million plus coins. And unfortunately, costs for making coins primarily come from the manufacturing of the dies. So where we have this situation that companies are making millions of coins, they want to push those dies as far as they can go. And from my experience, this really does look like a situation where the die has started to wear out. You can see that on a lot of the other parts of this side of the coin, like the prime example would be the A in the AG here. Let's see if we can get really close. It does not have a great depth of field to it. You can barely see the last little, or the line on the left of the A. And when you compare that with other images out there of this coin, that's a lot more prominent. So I genuinely think that this particular side of the die was wearing out. And the more detail you have on a particular part of it, like the crest here, the more quickly that will wear out. And of course, it looks like it has. So it's, I think, genuinely the poor quality of the manufacturing process. This side of the coin doesn't look actually that bad. And you can see quite a lot of detail and depth on these. Even like the letters on the sides have that nice little pop to them that come out of the coin. So for those that don't know, of course, there are two sides to every coin, and there are two dies to every coin as well. So it could well be that the die on the bottom was running on a different schedule to the one on the top and they didn't change them both at the same time. Or it might just be that the one on the bottom has less intricate detail and therefore hasn't worn out quite as quickly. Maybe it's more durable. But from this side of the coin's perspective, yeah, that I think is what's going on here. We've got basically a poor quality version of a bullion coin coming out in this design here. It's not great at all. It doesn't have very much definition or detail. So there is this Noah's Ark. We've put it through its tests. It's genuine, it's real, but it's a poor quality one. And I think that's a bit of a shame, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I do actually have to say, I really like these black gloves with the coins. Look at that, that's a great image. If we do this, maybe that's going to be the thumbnail. There we go, we can put some nice text. In fact, we go up the top there like that. There we go, we can get the text under the coin. Hey! So for you BYB Ramblers, you've seen some of my tips and tricks on how to create thumbnails. So there we go. There's the Noah's Ark. A big thank you to my subscriber for sending it through with a little bit of beer token money. I do appreciate it. A lot more than I suggested. I only suggested a couple of pounds, but he chucked in 20. So a big thank you to him. We'll have a nice couple of drinks out, me and Mrs. Backyard Bullion, on him. But a big thank you to him for sending that in. I think it's interesting, and I think it's certainly worth talking about that this design here isn't great, but at least we have the peace of mind that it is real. So a big thank you to all of you as well for watching. I do appreciate your time for sitting here and listening to me ramble about coins. Have a fantastic weekend ahead. We'll see you on the next video. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.